news tonight. Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination begins nationwide. FCT police parade suspected robbers. And Muslims urged to imbibe the lessons learned during the month of Ramadan. And thank you for joining us on the news at 7 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. I am Frama Panyi. The Unified Matriculation Examination UTME by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB has commenced across the 36 states and including the Federal Capital Territory. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni visited some centers to ascertain the conduct of the examination and now reports.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB has sworn to eliminate examination malpractice in its examination. While monitoring the examination, JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede said adequate arrangements of a successful conduct of the examination across 750 centers nationwide has been made.
There are pockets of problems and we try to solve those problems because this is the first day. There are very few, 2-3 centers having one problem or the other.
Candidates say they are confident of the examination results as there were little or no problems encountered during the examination.
There was not anything like maybe stops. It was all good.
There was no issue, no light issue, no computer issue. The exam was fine. It was an interesting experience actually. We started late because of the rain, and then when we got into the hall, I encountered some issues in my system, but it was immediately resolved.
We sat according to our examination numbers. All the systems were working.
In the same vein, the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination will hold in 8 other countries to enable all candidates seeking for admission in Nigerian higher institutions of learning partake in the exercise. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni, NTA News.
Former governor and serving federal legislator, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, says his political pedigree and patriotic commitment to a more economically viable and secure Nigeria are the driving force for his presidential ambition. Senator Amosun stated this after picking his APC presidential intent and nomination forms in Abuja. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
It is that political time again. Politicians are at work with aspirations to lead the country. Senator Ibikunle Amosun is pushing towards realizing his ambition to be president of Nigeria. His latest move was the picking of his intent and nomination forms through his representatives at the International Conference Center, Abuja.
He has been a good leader. This is a man that has been tested. He was a governor of Ogun State for 8 years, and he had done a lot of developmental projects in Ogun State. He is a detribalized Nigerian. So by his pedigree, you know that this is a man that can be given the responsibility to run Nigeria.
Thereafter, Senator Amosun and his team were at the residence of the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC.
I've actually taken the form, and that like a loyal party man, we will just continue to run around to continue with the consultation and go for the primaries. So that's what I came to inform the chairman. I think we're all eminently qualified to run the affairs of this country. So for me, yes, people may say that, oh, we're too many, but I think that is the essence of politics. That is the beauty of democracy.
With more consultations in view in the coming days with stakeholders, the presidential aspirant says he believes in the internal democratic process in the APC that gives equal opportunity to all aspirants. Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Robbers at Lugbe Division by FCT Police Command 3 weeks ago has led to another arrest of 6-man gang. Parading the suspect, FCT Commissioner of Police Babaji Sunday says the robbers usually operate in Abuja and relocate with their weapons to Adi in Benue State. Safia Noma Uche reports.
A suspected criminal arrested in Lugbe, Abuja, one Michael Obi, aka Lucky, confessed to robbing 2 Toyota Camry cars and 1 Lexus 330 Jeep. His further confession led the police to extend the investigation to Adi, Benue State, where 6 persons were caught. FCT Commissioner of Police Babaji Sunday says the command is committed to bringing crime and criminality to its barest minimum in the nation's capital.
Exhibit recovers Mark 4 Rifle 1, Tavor rifle snatched from a DSS personnel, sometimes 2021 September in Pape, also recovered is there. Locally made Beretta rifle 3, live ammunition 230, magazine 2, axe 1, cutlass 1.
He urged FCT residents to continue to support and cooperate with the police.
Days like these are important, not just to exhibit the crime-fighting achievements of the command, but to also echo the unalloyed commitment of the command to the noble cause of bringing crime and criminality to its barest minimum.
He says investigation is ongoing and the suspects are making more revelations. CP Babaji further called on FCT residents to remain vigilant and report any suspicious or unusual occurrences to the police and make use of the police emergency phone lines with that of the Public Complaint Bureau desk. Sophia Noma Uche, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Abuja Municipal Area Council Chairman Abdullahi Kandido has emphasized the need for residents to complement government efforts, especially in keeping their environment clean. Aisha Obali reports.
Continuous sensitization of residents to maintain environmental hygiene is important, according to Abdullahi Adamu Kandido, as he made known during a screening exercise for staff that a clean environment can prevent breeding spots for parasites such as mosquitoes.
So we decided that this year again, since it's an annual event, we better come around and then perform it physically, so let people see that even we in government are also acknowledges the fact that we need to take proactiveness as far as rolling back malaria.
There are multiple actions, multiple activities, multiple implementations. For instance, there is another one that is coming up very soon. It's called seasonal malaria chemo prevention. That will be a house-to-house for children under 5 years.
The council, through the Health Care Services Department, has assured that the annual screening and testing for staff is to ensure a healthy workforce, as the tests include malaria, screening, blood pressure, deworming, as well as long-lasting insecticidal nets for women who have been identified as the most vulnerable group. In Abuja, Aisha Oba Ali, NTA News.
And health experts have harped on the need for experts to follow treatment guidelines in the management of asthma to avoid complications and reduce the gaps in asthma care. Again, Aisha Obali reports.
Initially, when I was told I had asthma, I didn't believe. I felt maybe ordinary cough or chest congestion. But when I saw that I had a very, very serious attack at one time, I couldn't breathe till they got me.
Many people suffering from asthma have become their own caregivers, especially in terms of first aid. Asthma has remained a condition that can only be managed and not cured. According to experts, it is one of the non-communicable diseases that affect both children and adults. The discomfort caused as a result of asthma, according to Dr. Benga Atkins of Garki Hospital, include sleep disturbance, cough, difficulty in breathing, and tiredness, among others.
So that they always go around with their medication, with their inhalers, and then, of course, they also need to avoid those things that can incite the attack.
This year, observers are focusing on closing the gaps in asthma care.
When an asthma patient is coming in with severe difficulty with breathing, they cannot even communicate properly, they are already tired from the stress of the attack. Now, at that point, it's an emergency.
According to World Health Organization, in 2019 alone, 262 million people globally were affected, with 461,000 deaths. For people with asthma and have been managing it for years, there's the need for them to be encouraged and be more informed, especially on how to manage the condition when they have attacks, which mostly occurs at night. In Abuja, Aisha Oba Ali, NTA News.
The Zuma Film Festival, in collaboration with the Federal Capital Territory, has taken its visit to IDP camps in the FCT. Managing Director of Film Corporation Chidi Amaduekwe at the camp challenged the coordinators to come up with a story that can be converted into an award-winning story.
The internally displaced persons camp visited Durumi camp and Malaysian garden in Apo. Receiving the food items, the coordinator of Abuja-based IDP camps says he felt excited by the offer of the Nigerian Film Corporation to collaborate with them to see ways forward.
So if I can come in now, with my own years also, I had written a few scripts, I had produced so many, I had directed films, and I feel that I've been out of it, but they say all soldiers never die.
Managing Director, Nigerian Film Corporation, Chidi Amaduekwe, who insists that Film Corporation is about creativity and uplifting the creative industry to boost economy, said part of the society that may not have found it possible to join in celebrating the film festival in the city center, they felt they should come to them and bring messages of hope.
An opportunity given to them can unlock such creative instinct, even though they are faced with challenges of the society and difficulty of the moment.
Coordinators of the camps also called on government to intervene in the situation so that they can have a better living condition. In Abuja, Ifani Ezumba, NT News. The internally
Muslims have been enjoined to stick to all they have practiced during the month of Ramadan, which includes giving of alms and observing night prayers, as this will earn them Allah's rahmah. This was made known at the Imam Tanim Yusuf Al Hassan Muslim Community Mosque, Zone 3, Abuja. Hawa Gimba has the details.
Remaining steadfast after Ramadan is one great virtue that one gains during the month of Ramadan. Imam Tanim Yusuf Al Hassan of Muslim Community Mosque Zone 3 appealed to Muslim faithful not to relent in their service to Allah, giving to charity, as well as maintaining constant acts of worship through Tahajjud, as this will give all who practice such acts peace of mind and earn Allah's reward.
It is one thing for one to perform a righteous deed. It is another thing for Allah the Most High to accept it. Because no one can force Allah to accept, and no one knows whether that deed reached the level or requirements of acceptance in the sight of Allah. So one should continue presenting himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a slave, asking Allah, "Oh Allah, pardon me. Oh Allah, accept from me. Oh Allah, accept my repentance. This thing I have been able to present, it was because of your favor. Oh Allah, increase that favor on me by accepting it from me."
The Imam further tasked Muslim faithful not to forget to fast the Sitta Shawwal as prescribed by the Prophet after fasting of the holy month of Ramadan. Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
Not too much berekete. Glow Brekete Plus is here. Existing Glow customers will get 400% bonus on every recharge and 100 MB data bonus on first recharge of the month. New Glow customers will get 1,000 Naira welcome bonus. To activate, buy a new Glow SIM today or dial *777# for existing Glow customers.
Nigeria has been drawn in the same group with France, Canada and Korea Republic ahead of the FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup in Costa Rica. Details of this on Sports Brief with Miriam Amadi.
Nigeria will play France, Canada and Korea Republic in Group C of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Costa Rica in the month of August, following Thursday's draw that was held at San Jose, capital of Central American nation. Meanwhile, Super Eagles midfielder Alexi Iwobi has shown his appreciation to Everton manager Frank Lampard for putting his faith in him despite battling relegation. The 26-year-old Nigerian has been of the shining light of the Everton side under Lampard's tenure. Super Eagles star admitted that under former managers at Everton, he was always the first player to be substituted, but that has changed under the Chelsea legend. In tennis, Andy Murray has withdrawn from his last 16 match against world number 1 Novak Djokovic at the Madrid Open on Thursday due to illness. 3 times major winner Murray was set to face Djokovic for the 37th time in a highly anticipated clash on the city at the ATP Masters 100 event in Spanish. With sports brief, Miriam Ahmadi, NT News.
And that concludes the English segment of the news. Translation is coming up shortly. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and be vigilant. I am Frama Panyi. Good night.
Ize kwenye kwa wei ngona na iwo abeda zaza ishandaje zuma one wa kwa ngai momui no amu abi ayepezan azazanya kami oza wolo ayepezan ba adnamanyen ala yakoka nanu eyitinye bedo ekinzinai be Hadiza Godwi ebune wela bisheba waje shi ajilo aikako nwu wengange peje mumuyeya nsepa yekwen kwa gange kola yansisi nge ataje jifidna nu amumubayum Professor Ishak Olayede nwone jingambi okwanyale wa gange okwakaba mbalo taji ngutamba chetushitin abokubazo akanwa abi mbai muji nu ajila amubai bagange bateje beho nkolo nkubaji batabaji mumuye nkwen avi nu abusibida bonwaba nu lugbe sepa nu ayuno afi ngun ata mbala diayin afi ngun atayin sefia inoma uche wagange ji aboko banajin babi aje ngabe busibida ya nanu ekinzinda babaje sonde wagange koku jin anku avi ajewa nlo ngun tnei non abeyanya non abejin ayamba bagange ba jin avino mba jin ba wi ayan lo nanu ekinzinda ye ama ba kpuru ko lo nu adi jiba nko filo nu bienwe ni ala bepache aselada nge bato z amun non abe ba betumu ache awuba nu azmi pian nje nyaga nchede no adua jin no sadiyun ntigana de jinjin ko ba jin ba bwa nyamomane no shekoyi aba hawa jimba wona le sheba we be na beda wa gan ga shekofenu na yo Tanim Yusuf Al-Hassan woni da deye nsai wo be jin we go sheko beda ngache no asalaji ba mba jin lo no peje ogun atad na no njimiye aye ku shekoyi jiwe nge wo yege abo abuba fu na no ekinye nkwen omaje atazia apu ntuko ashanzu mbwade nshansu sai ko nai aza nshiko ya suwe
Masu kallon mu barkamu da yammaci ga fasarar takaitattun labarai mai karantawa Isiyaku Buhari Suleja. Hukumar shirya jarabawar shiga jami'o'i sun fara jarabawar a fadin jihohi 36 har da babban birnin tarayya. Wakiliyar mu Hadiza Godwin Evon ta ziyarci wa'insu wajajen da ake rubuta jarabawar a lokacin zagayawa don duba masu jarabawar. Rajistar hukumar Professor Ishak Oloyede ya ce sun shirya sosai domin samun nasarar ganin an yi jarabawar a wajajen jarabawar 750. Hukumar 'yan sanda na babban birnin tarayya ta baje kolin wa'yansu 'yan fashi da makami da kuma makamansu. Wakiliyar Musafiya Noma Uche ta ruwaito mana cewa a lokacin da ake baje kolin, kwamishinan 'yan sanda Babaji Sonje ya ce 'yan fashin kowane lokaci sukan aikata barna a Abuja ne sa'annan su koma Aji da ke jihar Benue. ya kara da cewa a shirye suke don ganin an kawo ƙarshen masu aikata laifuka a babban birnin. Ya kuma nemi goyon baya da kuma haɗin kai mazauna birnin. A hudubar da aka gudanar a masallacin juma'a na zontiri da ke abuja, wakiliyarmu Hauwa Gimba ta rawaito mana cewa limamin masallacin Tanim Yusuf Alhassan ya yi kira ga 'yan uwa musulmai da su ci gaba da dukkan abubuwa da suke yi na ibadu a lokacin watan Ramadan. Ya shawarci 'yan uwa musulmai da kada su manta da yin azumin watan Shawwal domin samun rahamar Ubangiji. Jama'a, ƙarshen fasara takaitattun labaran kenan, mu kwana lafiya.
ndewo na ịnọnyere anyị n'akụkọ ụwa nke taa. Aha m bụ Rachel Ifi Unu. Tọọ ntị n'ala nara anyị akụkọ anyị jiri bịa n'uhuruchi a. Ule eji abanye mahadum JAMB n'aha ịchafụ bekee amalitere na steeti 36 dị n'ala anyị nakwa n'isi ala anyị. Hadiza Godwin Ebune mgbe o mere njem ọrụ gaa n'ogige dị iche iche a na-ele ya bụ ule ịmata etu ihe siri kwụrụ, wetara akụkọ na ya bụ ule amalitela n'uju. Ọ gakwara n'ihu kwuo na ụlọ ọrụ na-ahụ maka ule a ekweela nkwa ma kwuo na ha ga-ekpochapụ mpụ ule mgbe ha na-ele ule ndị a. Ebe onye isi na ya bụ ụlọ ọrụ JAMB ka mmụta Ishak Oloyede kwuru na ha ewepụtala usoro ha ga-agbaso iji hụ na elere ya bụ ule n'ụzọ gara sịrịrị werere. Njide ndị uwe ojii jidere ndị omekome n'ime obodo Lugbe n'izuụka 3 gara aga emeela ka ha jide mmadụ 6 ndị ọzọ. Sefia Nneoma Uche wetara akụkọ na onyeisi ndị uwe ojii n'isi ala anyị Babaji Sunday mgbe ha na-akpụgharị ha mere ka anyị mata na ya bụ ndị omekome bi na obodo akpọrọ Adi na steeti Benue ma na-abịa isi ala anyị maka izu ori. Onyeisi ndị uwe ojii n'isi ala anyị kwekwara nkwa ibelata ya bụ mpụ ma rịọkwa maka enyemaka ndị obibi isi ala anyị. Agbaala ndị okpukpe Islam niile ume ka ha jisi ike ma nọgide na-etinye ihe niile ha mụtara n'ọnwa ibu ọnụ nakwa ọkachasị inye mmadụ ihe nakwa ikpe ekpere abalị bụ nke ga-enye ha ezigbo ụgwọ ọrụ. Onye ọrụ anyị Hauwa Gimba wetara akụkọ na nke a pụtara ihe site n'ọnụ onye imam nke ụlọ okpukpe ha dị na Zontiri Tanim Yusuf Alhassan mgbe ha na-ekpe ekpere maka Jumat nke taa. Onye ọma na-ege ntị, ebe a ka anyị pịachiri akụkọ ụwa nke taa. Ndewo.
Àsìkò dédé wòyí ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì karùn-ún ti ìlú Àbújá ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ̀nyín. Bọ́lájí Mátì ni oníròyìn. Ìdánwò tí wọ́n pe àdàpè rẹ̀ ní UTM lédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Hadiza Ebune ròyìn wípé ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Ishaq Olóyèdé nínú ọ̀rọ̀ sọ wípé ètò gbogbo ti tò láti rí wípé ìdánwò ọ̀hún wáyé ní gbogbo ibùjókòó yíká orílẹ̀-èdè láìsí ìyọnu. Bákan náà ìdánwò ọ̀hún ń wáyé ní orílẹ̀-èdè 8 mìíràn láti fún àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀hún láǹfààní láti wá ka ìwé ní orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà. Àwọn adigunjalè tí ọwọ́ àgọ́ ọlọ́pàá Lugbe bà ní nǹkan bíi ọ̀sẹ̀ 3 sẹ́yìn ti fún àwọn agbófinró ọ̀hún láǹfààní débi wípé ọwọ́ tún ba ẹgbẹ́ adigunjalè ẹlẹ́ni 6 mìíràn. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Sefia Uche ròyìn wípé alákòóso ọlọ́pàá ìlú Àbújá Babaji Sunday bí ó ti fi àwọn adigunjalè ọ̀hún hàn sọ nínú ọ̀rọ̀ wípé ìlú Àbújá ni àwọn olè ọ̀hún ti ń ṣe iṣẹ́ bí wọn, ìpínlẹ̀ Benue ni wọ́n lọ ń fi orí pamọ́ sí pẹ̀lú àwọn ohun èlò tí wọ́n fi ń jalè. Ọjọ́ gbogbo ni tó lè bí wọ́n ti ń wí, bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni ọjọ́ kan ni ti oníhun. Pẹ̀lú iṣẹ́ takuntakun abúlé Adí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Benue ni ọwọ́ ti bà wọ́n pẹ̀lú ìbọn tí wọ́n pè ní travel rifle lédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì tó jẹ́ ti ẹ̀ka tí wọ́n pè ní DSS àti ìbọn mìíràn pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọ̀tá. Wọ́n ti rọ gbogbo mùsùlùmí pé kí wọ́n dúró déédéé pẹ̀lú ohun tí wọ́n pèsè nínú oṣù Ramadan, kí wọ́n lo gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ tí wọ́n kọ́ pẹ̀lú ìtọrẹ àánú, kí wọ́n má sì fi àdúrà ọ̀gànjọ́ òru ṣe àwàdà torí pé ìgbésẹ̀ wọ̀nyí ní ọ̀pọ̀ èrè láti ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Àwágímbà ròyìn wípé lèmọ́mù mọ́ṣáláṣí agbègbè ẹ̀ka kẹta l'Àbújá Tanim Yusuf Alhassan ló gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀hún kalẹ̀ nínú wàásù Jímọ̀ tòní pẹ̀lú àdúrà pàtàkì fún ìrẹ́pọ̀, àlàáfíà àti ìlọsíwájú orílẹ̀-èdè àti ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè lápapọ̀. Tó a ò rí jù báyìí lọ́sẹ̀ títí ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ ní àṣẹ Tèdùmàrè. Ojúmọ́ ire ni yóò mọ́ wa.